So, folks, many of you who have been following me for years now may remember that when I was just an itty bitty content creator, just taking my first steps, one of my controversial takes was the need, again, this was probably 4 or 5 years ago, the need to step up and say, hey, we need a $30 minimum wage. Now, at the time, that sounded insane to a lot of people. But my reasoning was just, hey, we've been waiting for $15 minimum wage to become a thing. It's like 2020, 2021. That hasn't happened yet. We should be demanding a $30 minimum wage because by the time we ever get 15, we're going to need a $30 minimum wage. And we are now in that era where we need a $30 minimum wage. And there is exactly one politician that is perhaps willing to step up to the plate and get that done. And that is, of course, Zohran Mamdani. New York City $30 minimum wage proposal headed to the city council. Now, hopefully if Mamdani's city council is aligned with him on this, New York City might see a $30 minimum wage. There are some hurdles, of course, within the city council itself. It's not homogenous. There are people who oppose some of Zohran Mamdani's reforms, but this is pretty cool. So let's just take a look here. The increase would come in steps, reaching the $30 mark by 2030, up from the current $17 hourly rate. And proponents of the change said the boost was necessary to help low-wage workers contend with the city's affordability crisis. Absolutely true. The proposal also echoes a key campaign proposal of Mayor Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic Socialist, who also called for a $30 minimum wage in the run-up to his election last year. And, it's necessary, guys. The cost of living in New York City, if you are not, some kind of wealthy investment banker, investor type, you're kind of hosed. Or if you don't, luck into, a rent-stabilized apartment. There are literally lotteries in New York City for who can just live in a relatively cheap apartment. Everyone else, you're staying in a tiny closet-sized space for $2,000, $3,000 a month, and you're not making that much money, So $30 minimum wage, I think this is well overdue, especially for New York City. And I know that there are some people out there who are like, $30 is too much, but keep in mind, we're not talking about $30 in rural Kansas. We're talking $30 in New York City. Frankly, I also think that people in rural Kansas should get a $30 minimum wage, but there are going to be a lot of people who are a little bit more comfortable saying a $30 minimum wage for New York City, considering the high cost of living. But, $30 minimum wage is very reasonable. It's very reasonable, especially with all the inflation that has occurred between, in the last 5 years even. But where will we find the funds? Said the Wall Street jackass as he wiped sweat with a stack of $1,000 bills. Exactly.
This is Bill McBillionaire and I feel attacked. You forgot all the things that I do for you, like jobs. My mere presence should be enough for you lousy pores. Ignore that last bit.
What was I... That reminded me. There was something I was listening to. It was... I think it was Jamel Bouie's summary of the Southern Switch as a lengthier historical process instead of just a overnight event kind of thing. The more things change, the more they stay the same. He has audio clips of Hubert Humphrey talking about civil rights, etc. But he also talks about how a lot of what was in the Republican Party, being the party of small business, etc., and big business, was already there in the Republican Party. And things have just become more polarized as time has gone on within the Republican Party towards these different extremes. But Bill McBillionaire is the same kind of guy that existed, 100 years ago. You know, we have coal and oil barons right now who are grumbling about how, oh, those poors are using their SNAP benefits as like people who are destitute and can't feed themselves, calling to C-SPAN to talk about how they can't afford like food anymore, in tears. It's crazy.
Raising the MW to $30? You want the billionaires to just pack up and leave? Hello?
I mean, Andrew S., thank you for the $5 super chat. I genuinely, we need to reframe the narrative around like, oh, if we tax billionaires more, they won't be as charitable and they'll leave. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, if they're only being charitable for tax write-offs, we should tax them more so that we can actually guarantee that money is going to help people. And number two, like, billionaires are going to move? You want to bet? Like, if you're a billionaire, do you have any idea how little it matters to you if you have like a 5% wealth tax? Like, imagine a 5% tax on somebody who has to like nickel and dime to make sure they have gas to go to work. And then you have 5% to a billionaire. Which of those two is going to struggle with a 5% tax increase? Which one is maybe going to go hungry? I can guarantee you it's never going to be the billionaire. And frankly, if they want to leave, we should be able to point at them, laugh, and say, look at these unpatriotic jackasses. Look at these greedy, soulless sacks of shit who profited off of us and now don't want to give back to the society that made them wealthy. I don't know. I think that like the narrative that is already there is pretty stark, and our politicians should be using it. That philanthropic shit is how the system stays working. Acts of charity keep the status quo chugging and makes them feel better about themselves and looks good on tax papers. I would argue the main reason they do it is because not that it looks good on tax papers, but because they save themselves money. Like, philanthropy in this country is just a way for billionaires and millionaires to invest in their own pet projects that then almost always support their main businesses. You know, like a lot of Bill Gates' philanthropy was all about pushing like Microsoft into schools, or to get like Microsoft products, like patent products over like seeds and stuff like that. Like, a lot of the stuff that they do is free PR that they can write off on their taxes. Then they get to direct where that money goes, and that money will conveniently go to setting the stage for their companies to do even better in the future. It is just a way to do a tax write-off that is a sideways investment into your own company when you're a billionaire, you know? And by the way, I do want to say, there are people who could be billionaires who choose not to be.
You
all right?
keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't say 1, 2, 3. I don't say 3 of those things. I would never advocate to sodomize any landowner. All right, unless it's consensual. That being said, how do I say this? There used to be like a sense of duty that the rich felt towards the poor, and for that reason, you would build like a library to help educate people, and like it would be genuinely like an act of philanthropic good, right? We still have some people like that. A good example of this, I think, would be Dolly Parton, actually. Dolly Parton is someone who could very easily be a billionaire right now, but she gives away so much of her money that she's not. And so I think that, like, we really need to be elevating folks who are deliberately rejecting their capital like that and giving it back to the common folk. Mamdani's really proving how full of bullshit Democrats are when they tell us to be realistic about how fast things can get done. Well, that's the thing too, right? Like, everything that Donald Trump is doing right now is awful and terrible and bad. But the one thing he is doing is very clearly demonstrating that, like, all of the questions of how you're going to pay for it, all of the hand-wringing about fiscally conservative handling of money, all of that was absolutely bullshit. All of it was bullshit. Every single bit of it, you know? Yeah, Mackenzie Bezos is another great example of someone who just has a ton of money and is actively doing a choice to give it all away, you know? I think that's good. Mamdani has abandoned trans people. I don't think that's true. I looked into that story because I heard about it too, but one, the state of New York is fixing that problem and is ordering treatment to resume. So number one. And number two, the Mamdani team has been actively working on this, and this comes courtesy of a trans person who directly worked on their backup plans. All we're gonna say on that is that I don't think that he's abandoned trans people. I think people are really, really eager to find enemies in potential allies, because it would really hurt to be betrayed by someone as large of a figure as Zohran Mamdani in the leftist political space right now. Abby, the local trans rabbi, yeah. A week ago, the New York AG ordered NYU Langone to resume trans care for kids. So, excellent work. Well done. Not pieces of shit in New York. It's so tiring, you know? It is tiring to be under attack in this country right now.
Every Marx needs its Engels, just like every clown sings a sad, sad song.
Sake, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. So the AG fixed it? Yes, the AG fixed it, and also the folks in New York City have been working on a backup plan in case the AG did not fix it. But like, we must not seek idols like Mamdani. Trans people need to organize. Yeah, which is why every day I get on here and I tell you guys, you need to start organizing. You need to like be showing up at your local meetings. You need to be like actually doing the work and showing up, right? Like, you guys know that I'm like the last person you should be telling, like, don't look for political idols, right? Like, you need to become the political, the political mechanisms in your local areas. You all need to step up and do that. Fresh Pepperino, thank you very much.
Speaking of roundabout billionaire philanthropy, take my Bezos money, IG.
Appreciated very much, thank you. You know as well as the rest of us that it's not that we're desperate to find enemies, it's that we've been burned every other time. Yeah, well, when I say desperate to find enemies, that's another way of saying we've been burned a lot, and so we are desperate to, like, jump the gun and say, this person's out to hurt us, this person is, in fact, an enemy. I knew it the entire time. Like, you know as well as I that that's exactly the kind of thing that I'm talking about, right? Like, there are a lot of people out there who, in an effort to protect themselves, in an effort to, not get hurt, are desperate to tear down people who they think might hurt them from an unexpected vector. It like, I get it. It's a survival instinct, but like, I think that I said it okay. Like, I think my communication was fine. People treating us politely IRL doesn't change our lack of healthcare. Yeah, I never said it did. Please stop putting words in my mouth. I don't appreciate it. Salmon Moose, thank you for subscribing. So Zohran didn't ditch us? Doesn't seem so. According to the trans people who work in his administration, who have talked about the issue and actively worked on it. Anyway, I think it's really cool that one of his campaign promises for a $30 minimum wage to make one of the most expensive cities in the country more livable, I think that that's good. I think that that is good that is coming, and like, setting aside all other issues, I think that it will do a world of good to empower working class people in New York City. All that being said, folks, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, subscribe. Leave a comment. Comments really help in the algorithm. Longer than 8 words apparently is ideal. And folks, as always, join your local Dems and radicalize them. Make them more progressive. Kick out those conservative Dems. Kick out those corporate Dems. We can do that on the local level. It does not take a bunch of us showing up in order to do that. It just takes enough of us showing up to do that. And also, as always, organize in your local DSA. We need to make our DSAs more effective. So we need folks to show up to your local DEM meetings and your local DSA meetings. And if you need help doing either of those things, or it's too scary or too big, we have people in our community who can help you do that. So join our Discord and reach out to Dragonfly for help getting involved with your local Dems. She's been organizing in the Democratic Party for a long time and is willing to help you make your area more progressive. And also, reach out to Gamergy. Gamergy is organizing her local DSA and has a ton of experience doing it and is willing to help you get involved and do it too. Okay? And if you do not want to use Discord, you can always jump over to riverboat.gg, this website over here, and talk to them over there. I think I actually see Dragonfly in the chat right now. Yeah, like right here. Anyway, all that being said, last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. People find it very comfortable, very sexy, and also it's non-tucking. So whatever your bits, it's not going to judge, it's going to be comfortable, and it is made differently. So I do hope you all will try it out if you are so inclined. Link down in the doobly-doo, down in the description. Go check it out. And new colors, styles, and sizes coming in the near future. Let's keep on going. There we go.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather around. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.